Morning everyone. I am back in Ibsley this morning. I have faffed around a lot this morning. I've been going backwards and forwards, umming and ahhing whether to go out, looking at the sky outside through the conservatory. Yeah, I've just messed about a lot, and I should have just gone. I should have had my car loaded, ready to go. I usually put like all the clothing ready in the back of the car, so if it is a bit colder, which it is, it's 5 degrees this week. It's only been 2 weeks since my last video, and I'm pretty sure I wasn't wearing a lot, or I was really hot. So this time I'm out with a down jacket, the soft shell, and I actually went back to the car because I was really cold. I picked up my gloves. What is it? Am I getting old or what? So yeah, I'm going to head up to Little Chibden Bottom again, where we left the last video off. Which was the trees on an angle with the sunlight spilling through. We'll take another look at that, see if it's changed much, and at the same time let's see if we can continue that path along the back of the houses all the way towards I don't know where it's going actually, Fogham I guess. At the moment I'm walking through Ibsley village, just coming up to the garage. So what I'm going to do, I'll probably switch the camera off, carry on walking for a bit, get a big section out of the way, and then I'll switch you back on and bring you back. Until then, see you later. Now, I've just looked on the OS map. I've got to go up this lane here to get back to Little Chibden Bottom. However, Hockey's Farm is right there, and they do an absolutely outstanding full English breakfast. That's going to be hard to stay away from, especially on the way back. If you haven't been in this area, that's a place to go. Anyway, crack on. I didn't want to video too much of that because now my luck I'll go in. I feel like I need to get up and out of this. I'm in the low part. When you're in the low part, it's where all the water and the bog is. You can see how lumpy and bumpy it is. And if you stand on the lumps, you don't sink. I've got to get around that. How do I do that? Do I just duck and go through there? You're not getting this. I'm turning you off. That was my bit of drama for today. It was really bad just there. My feet. Look at that. And that doesn't even show you how far up over the ankle it came. Well, I'm past it. So, onwards and upwards. We're not far off now. Oh, that was a bit of work. I might find a different way back. Oh. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to turn you off. I am at the very top now. Those are the little trees from my last photo. I'll quickly put that up. Look at that lovely mist. That's the Avon Valley. There's some deer on the opposite ridge, just over here. I've got a little bit of video footage of that, I'll show you that. But there's your sun. Slightly behind cloud, but that's looking lovely and wispy. How beautiful is that? Come think of it, there's not a lot up here. I might go over to the one further over. There's more deer over that way. I'm surrounded by deer actually. There's some just over there. There's some through the tree line there. And there is about 30 sitting on that hill just over there. Wow. And there's got a few cows making their way back down to, I think it's this little farm up down the bottom of Little Chibden Bottom. This is great though. What a location. There's so much potential in this little bit. I think it's worth coming back to explore. But I'm going to have to walk around a little bit to see what's here. Well, it's been one hell of a walk. But I think I found something there. You've got a beautiful silver birch that's just sort of split in two. And it just forms one tree, if you can see on the top. It's got one canopy. It doesn't look like two separate trees, like this one here. Lovely foliage in the foreground. No oranges, just more browns now. It's only been 2 weeks. Hell of a lot of rain though. So there's nice little dew droplets or water droplets on some of the ferns, so they might come up like little jewels. All I've got to do now is find some kind of leading line up to those trees, and then I'll see about, there you go, look at that. Is that spectacular cloud coverage or what? Just hundreds, thousands of cauliflowers. So see if we can get something in there. I'm going to put the sun behind it somewhere. I'm a real sucker for backlit things. So let's see if I can set something up here and we'll get a shot. All right. So first of all, where am I? I've moved up to Chibden Bottom, so not Little, oh no, Ibsley Common. I'm heading up towards Ibsley Common. And I'm going to see if we can get this composition. I'm going to go for the obvious first. We're just going to go for all the, what I call my default settings, but I'm pretty sure everyone else does the same. Stick it in live view. I'm on f11. I've already got an ISO of 100, and it looks like I'm on a shutter of 200th of a second. Oh, I love this. This could be good. This could be really good. Didn't even take my autofocus off from last time. So I'm just going to stick that on there. At the moment, I've just got the histogram stacked more to the left. Tiny little bit of clipping on the white end. But as you already know from my last video, I allow for that. I think sometimes you just got to go with it. It works. I'm just going to take one portrait one here because I really do like the ferns in the foreground. So I'm going to see if I can get a shot with that in. I'm going to centralise the tree. I'll zoom in slightly. I do like the clouds though, so it's going to be quite difficult. So I've got to zoom in slightly because the branches from the opposite tree are sneaking into the corner there. And it's always good to break in the first couple of images. You'll find your photography gets a little bit easier after you've taken your first image. Yeah, let's head on over there and see if we can get some images over the top of the ridge. Yeah. Wow, conditions can change so quickly. What looked like mist on the horizon is gone. It's taken me probably a good 5 minutes or so to get over here. There's no breeze though, so I'm not sure where that went. Definitely something there on the horizon. Anyway, not going to find anything here. Don't give up. There's a dead tree. It's one of those ones they've done that barking thing around the base of it, and it's just killed it. Just standing over there somewhere. Where am I going? That way. Probably on the tip of my finger right now. And there's a lovely white horse walking away from it, which I don't want it walking away. I think it'd be fantastic next to it. I'm going to head that way and just have a little look, see if there's anything there. See what I mean? I'm not really going on a plan here. I'm just literally walking around trying to find something that works. And there's plenty of stuff here. I know I wouldn't have got it if I stayed at home in my bed, so just got to keep looking. Something will come up. It always does. No point giving up, so let's head that way. See that small clump? There's a military World War II story behind that. I can't remember what it was, whether it was a hangar or something. Anyway, we'll head over there and I'll see if I can find that plaque for it. See you in a bit. Right then peeps, switch it back on. There's the tree. You can't see the background, but there's plenty of mist down there and a lot of dark sky. The cloud above. Immediately standing up, you can see that the branches, the dead ones, the lower ones, are touching the ground. So we know we've got to go lower. Probably about there. Then we need to look at which way you're going to put this tree. You could put it in the middle and it'll probably work. However, it's leaning in more to your right. So that would probably help you with your composition a little bit. This tree needs to be on the left of your image if you're doing it in landscape. If you're doing it in square crop, it will still work. Let's have a go with that. I'd have preferred it if that horse was still here, because that white horse just added another element of interest. It will still work though. This could probably work black and white as well. I'm going to get a telephoto zoom on that because I really want to bring some of that background into the image. And I feel like the telephoto, because it zooms in, it almost feels like it's bringing the background forward into the image. You can see that it has been stripped on the bottom of the tree, and you'll probably see it in the final image. However, there is a tree that's already fallen just over here, and it's from the same reason as well. You can see it stripped around the base of it and it just kills it off. I think it's called girdling. Don't hold me to it. I will look it up and I'll make sure that's correct first. But it's kind of tragic, isn't it? When we're talking about the environment at the moment and how we're just going through resources like you wouldn't believe, and then we go and do that. It just seems senseless, doesn't it? Especially in the New Forest. These are trees that don't really belong here. They're pines. So yeah, just I don't know. There'll be mixed views on that. I think they weren't doing any harm up here. They could have been just left quite casually. They'd have been quite nice, and they'd have died naturally. But there you go. I'm going to see if I can get this shot. I've got some beautiful dark clouds over it right now, and that's just perfect because it's like a triangle pointing at it. So let's do it. Let's set it up quickly and get the shot. Yeah. So I could take the shot right now, and I would be at 70 mil. It is very tiny in the frame, actually. I will take this shot because it's just, to me, it just seems like there's a lot of waste space around it, and sometimes that does work. It does actually work quite well. It just gives you a sense of solitude. So let's just switch these lenses around. I don't really rush to change the lenses. There's no breeze, no debris floating around in the air. All right. Different foot plate because I'm using the collar on the 70 to 200 mil, and it's Nikon. So I'm at 70 mil where I was last on my previous lens, and this is what I love about this little lens kit. It's kind of like I've got the next size up, 24 to 70, 70 to 200. It's just quite nice to have, to be able to cycle between them. So there we go. I'm going to lock it back in position again. I focused on the tree. What I'm going to do now is zoom in. I'm going to try with this composition slightly to the left of the frame. So now the tree is sitting slightly to the left. Do you know what? Why don't I just bring you in? You can see this. It's just nice that you can see the, don't know why I haven't been doing it. It's just nice that you can see the histogram and everything that I'm seeing on the back of the camera. There we go. Get all nice and warm and cozy now, we're all together. So as you can see, the histogram, there's a lot of white still here, so it's going to be a lot lighter, and we can see that. You can see that I've got the tree there. I can take some of this away, and then you can see the frame a bit better. So it's nice and simple. You've got the bottom third as the landscape, and then the top third was the more interesting sky, which isn't so interesting anymore because it's moved more over to the right here. Still going to get a shot though because I think it's still beautiful. And as you can see, around about the base, I'll zoom in on it. Around the base of that tree, you see how it makes a difference that you haven't got one of these big clump trees over the bark around the bottom, underneath, behind the bark even, because it just takes something away. If you find a gap in between things, use it. It makes your overall subject pop a little bit more. So because the clouds aren't so interesting, I'm going to get a little bit more of that ground in, because the ground is quite interesting as well. And the reason why I think it's interesting, if you have to try and imagine this image already in black and white. See that grass? It looks like it's got frost on. It hasn't. It's just like a water dew. But if I made this black and white, you've got a triangle pointing towards the tree. There's a shape there. So I'm going to utilise that as well and focus back on the tree again. So what about this one? This one looks quite good. And all I've done is just moved around 90 degrees on this tree. The sun is up there and I really want that to come back. Streaky bright light going behind this dark cloud here is just drawing your eye to this dead tree, and I've put the other dead one just underneath, just to say, I don't know, to me it tells a story. It's almost like this is what happened to this one, and it will happen to this one eventually. So I've got f11, ISO 100, I've got 60th of a second, and it's just beautiful. You can just see dots of clouds and then these white lights just streaking down to the tree. And it is so small in this composition. I've left the tree just on 1/3 and then just made it incredibly small by zooming out, and I'm down at 24mm. So it's as wide as it'll go on that lens, and I just feel like there's something here. Even if I crop it and take some of the top off, because there is a lot of cloud in here, the dark stuff, and if I just crop it to a 16:9, it would just be stunning, just seeing the streaky light just going back to the tree. Oh, it's amazing. It really is. And there's just so much to be said here. And as you can see as well, the tree, now I've moved round, it's leaning the opposite way. It's now going from leaning from the right into the left. So it makes sense to leave more empty space on the left-hand side because it's pointing into it. So yeah, there you go. That's that composition. I'll put it up on the screen now. I'm not sure if I'm going to find any more images. The sun is well and truly up. I think I might head back, and if I find something along the way, I'll switch you back on. Let's go. Right then, that's it for me this week. I feel like I've really enjoyed myself there. I just wish there was a smidge more light and it just held on a little bit longer, but otherwise I really enjoyed that little circular walk, and I am probably about 5-10 minutes away from the car. So I'm going to head back, and hope you've enjoyed yourself as well, and thank you again for watching, and until then, see you next time. Catch you later. Bye bye. Put my hand on that, there's a puddle on the top. I thought it was dry. Oh well.